It sounds like we're listening to a conversation.
A conversation? Between who?
Between two beings observing Earth from space, and they seem particularly interested in our music.
Music, huh? That is interesting.
It really is. And what's so fascinating is their perspective. It's like they're trying to understand what it means to be human by listening to our art.
Studying us through our art, you say?
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're holding up a mirror to humanity, but, from millions of miles away. It really makes you wonder, what does it mean that someone or something out there might be listening to us, trying to understand us through our music? What do you think, listener? Pretty profound, right?
Not kidding.
Well, let's find out together. Let me play the first clip. You ready?
Absolutely. Fire it up.
Okay, here we go. Listen closely to the way they describe us. Their words.
I'm all ears.
Okay.
That's what makes it beautiful, isn't it? The way they feel everything so deeply. Sometimes I wish we could just land, walk among them, let them know they're not alone.
Wow. I don't know about you, but I got chills. The yearning in their voices, the way they talk about human emotions. It's haunting.
I know, right?
Did you pick up on the language they use? Frequencies, cycles? It's like they're analyzing our emotions scientifically, but there's also this undeniable sense of wonder, even longing in their tone.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
They're drawn to us.
Yeah.
Yet hesitant at the same time.
Yeah.
Like they even say, sometimes I wish we could just land, walk among them, let them know they're not alone.
Yeah. But then they pull back, like they're aware of the risks.
Right. It's a real dilemma for them, like this urge to connect, but also this potential danger in making contact.
It makes you wonder if they've encountered other civilizations before, and what those experiences might have been like.
That's a great point. And, that actually leads perfectly into the next clip.
Oh, yeah.
They start talking about the blues. Yeah, and they describe it as the most beautiful frequencies in the cosmos.
Interesting.
I think you'll find it fascinating.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay.
Look at this one. They call it the music. The frequencies. They're unlike anything in the known galaxies. It's because of the hurt. Their music carries it all. The longing, the loss, the love.
We have love.
Their love is forged in suffering. It makes it different, more intense.
Sometimes I think that's why we're all drawn here. Billions of light years, countless civilizations, and nowhere else in the universe creates art like this.
The humans call it the blues, but they don't know that their pain, their struggle, it's creating the most beautiful frequencies in the cosmos.
Wow, they really hit on something there, don't they?
Yeah, they did.
The raw emotion, the pain, the struggle expressed in this, uniquely human art form.
That's what they find so compelling about us.
It's wild to imagine aliens listening to the blues and finding beauty in it.
I know, right?
It really throws into perspective just how powerful music is.
Absolutely.
And how it can transcend, cultural boundaries.
Even potentially species boundaries.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's this universal nature of emotions, joy, sorrow, longing. These are feelings we all experience.
Yeah, regardless of where we come from.
Yeah.
Or what form we take.
Right. Like a common thread running through all sentient beings.
Exactly.
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
Me too. It raises so many questions, though.
It does.
Like, what else might we have in common with these beings? What could we learn from them? And what could they learn from us?
Such a good question.
I think we need to look at the bigger picture here. They're studying us.
Right.
So it stands to reason that they must be on some kind of mission.
Yeah, observing us from afar.
Exactly. Let's listen to the next clip where they talk about their location. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm curious to hear what they have to say.
Okay.
I think you'll find it a fascinating world, Karan. I've been studying it now for 10 centuries.
Third planet from a star. Is it people?
Oh, yes, it is. They call themselves man, and their planet, Earth. This is Astron 7 calling Galaxia Kentron. We're making our first pass over Planet 3, System 127, Galaxy 208. All scanners on and recording.
How advanced are these Earthlings?
Planet 3, System 127, Galaxy 208. Whoa. What do you make of those designations?
It's hard to say for certain, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be using a system of measurement or a classification system that's completely alien to us.
Right.
But even if we can't pinpoint their exact location, you know, out there in the vastness of space,
Yeah.
the fact that they're out there observing us, that's significant enough in itself, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
I mean, it challenges all our assumptions about our place in the universe.
I know, it's mind-blowing. Imagine yourself on that spaceship, looking down at our tiny blue planet.
Oh, wow.
With all its complexities, its contradictions.
Yeah.
What would you think? What would you feel?
It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
We get so caught up in our daily lives,
I know.
our struggles, our triumphs.
Yeah.
We often forget to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And these beings, with their, like, detached, yet strangely fascinated observation,
Yeah.
it reminds us just how interconnected we all are.
It does.
Not just as humans, but as part of this vast and intricate cosmic web.
It's like a cosmic reality check, isn't it?
Really.
Reminding us there's more to existence than what we see right in front of us.
Absolutely.
It makes me wonder what else they've seen out there. What other wonders and mysteries does the universe hold?
Right. That's the question that drives astronomers, philosophers, all of us, really.
Yeah.
And speaking of perspectives, I think it's time we delve into their assessment of humanity's progress.
Okay.
They referred to us as being at, quote, the midpoint of our potential.
The midpoint. What do they think that means?
Well, let's listen.
Okay.
See if we can figure that out.
Well, they're just about at the midpoint of their potential. Although the thrust of this development has taken place only in the past few hundred years.
Anything approaching our level?
Though different from us in many respects, they're on an evolutionary course not dissimilar to that which our own ancestors experienced 250,000 years ago.
In transition, then.
A necessary phase which all sentient creatures must experience if they're to evolve toward a higher level of awareness.
Just about at the midpoint of their potential. What a thought-provoking statement. What do you think they mean by that, listener? Are we only halfway there? And if so, where are we headed?
It really suggests a remarkable awareness of our capabilities, you know, both the progress we've made, but also the potential that still lies dormant within us.
Yeah.
It's like they see our capacity for innovation, our drive to explore, to understand the world around us.
Right, and yet there's this sense that we're still evolving, still learning, still figuring out who we are and what we're capable of becoming.
Yeah, exactly. It makes me wonder if they've seen other civilizations reach their full potential
Ooh, good question.
and what that might look like.
Maybe they've witnessed civilizations that have, mastered technology,
Yeah,
eradicated disease.
achieved a level of peace and harmony that we can only dream of.
Yeah. Or maybe they've seen the opposite. Civilizations that have succumbed to their own internal conflicts,
No.
destroyed themselves through unsustainable practices.
Yeah.
It's a sobering thought.
It is. And it highlights the importance of the choices we make, both individually and collectively.
Mhm.
The decisions we made today will shape the trajectory of our civilization
Yeah.
and determine whether we reach our full potential or fall short of it.
It's like we're standing at a crossroads with multiple paths ahead of us. What will influence our direction? What role will technology play? How will we navigate the challenges?
It's a complex equation, countless variables.
For sure.
But I think one key factor that these beings seem to focus on is the concept of freedom.
Yeah.
They talk about it repeatedly,
They do.
emphasizing its fragility.
Especially in democratic societies.
Right. Let's listen to what they have to say about that.
Okay, here it is.
They seem decent enough beings.
Let's hope they make that unified effort.
Perhaps as their understanding of universal laws increases, the problems created by their technology can be solved with new technology.
The free enterprise system is remarkably adaptive and capable of orderly change. But the freedom it requires for growth is a fragile entity. In a democracy, any force, political or economic, that changes too suddenly precludes adaptability. And in the resulting imbalance,
This part
freedom
always
could
gives me
disappear.
chills. Their concern, their almost pleading tone, it's
I
unsettling.
don't know, right? It's heavy stuff.
Wow. They seem really worried about this delicate balance of freedom in democratic societies.
Yeah.
It's like they've seen this play out before,
Mhm.
maybe even witnessed the collapse of civilizations due to these internal pressures.
It's like they're warning us
Yeah.
about the potential pitfalls of our own success.
Yeah. They recognize the adaptability.
And the resilience of, the free enterprise system. but they also see the dangers of rapid change and unchecked ambition.
Yeah. They specifically mention that too much change too quickly can disrupt the very foundations of freedom. Does that ring any bells for you, listener?
I mean, it's a theme that seems particularly relevant in our world right now with all the advancements in technology, and the shifting political landscapes. It really makes you think about the trade-offs we're willing to make between progress and liberty.
Every generation grapples with this in its own way.
How do we balance individual freedoms with the needs of society as a whole? How do we harness the power of technology without becoming enslaved to it? How do we ensure that progress benefits everyone, not just a select few?
Right. They're warning about the fragility of freedom.
Yeah.
It's a potent reminder that we can't take our liberties for granted.
No, we can't.
They have to be constantly guarded, nurtured, defended.
Against forces that seek to undermine them.
Exactly. And if we look at human history, we see countless examples of societies that have risen to great heights, only to crumble from within due to corruption, inequality, the erosion of individual rights.
That's right. Their message is a call to action, I think.
Definitely.
Reminding us that we're not just passive observers of history.
Yeah.
We're active participants in shaping the future. It's up to us to ensure that freedom prevails and that the potential they see in us is realized in a way that benefits all of humanity.
I couldn't have said it better myself. And speaking of action, it begs the question, would these beings intervene to help us preserve our freedoms, guide us towards our full potential? Or are they committed to simply observing, even as they see us potentially heading down a dangerous path?
Oh, it's a really tough question.
It is.
Let's listen to what they decide and unpack their reasoning together.
Yeah, I'm ready. Were you?
Oh, absolutely. Hit it. Okay.
Here we go.
Captain, I wish we could help them.
I think not. It's been my experience our intrusion creates as many problems as it solves. Well, let's terminate the mission, shall we?
Calling Galaxia Kentron from 127 Galaxy 208. We have completed our scan of Planet 3.
Karan, plot the return course.
Aye, aye, Captain.
We're returning to mid-station Andromeda. Star speed 4. This is Astron 7 calling Galaxia Kentron. This is Astron 7 calling Galaxia Kentron.
Our intrusion creates as many problems as it solves. Heavy stuff. What do you think led them to this conclusion, listener?
It sounds like a hard-won lesson, possibly learned through their own experiences interacting with other civilizations.
Yeah, you're probably right. It makes me think about all those sci-fi stories where well-meaning aliens try to help us and end up making things worse.
Exactly. It highlights the law of unintended consequences. Even with the best intentions, intervening in another civilization's development can have unforeseen and potentially disastrous ripple effects.
It's almost like a cosmic version of the butterfly effect, where even a small action can create massive changes down the line. It's a humbling reminder that we can't fully predict or control the consequences of our actions, especially when dealing with systems as complex as entire civilizations.
So they've chosen to be observers, not actors. It's a weighty decision, especially considering their apparent concern for the future of humanity. It makes you wonder, what are they hoping to gain from watching us?
Perhaps they're studying us to understand the dynamics of civilizations.
Yeah.
The patterns of progress and decline, the factors that lead to self-destruction.
Yeah.
Or self-transcendence.
Maybe they're looking for clues about the universal nature of intelligence and consciousness, trying to figure out how sentient life evolves and interacts with its environment.
That's possible.
Or maybe, just maybe, they're hoping to find a civilization that learns from its mistakes.
Oh, wow.
That chooses a path of sustainable growth and peaceful coexistence.
Yeah.
A model for other developing societies, perhaps.
Interesting thought.
It's fascinating to consider that we might be a case study for them. An experiment playing out on a cosmic stage.
It is.
But their non-intervention policy raises a whole other set of ethical dilemmas.
It does.
If they see us heading towards disaster, will they really just stand by and watch?
It's a question with no easy answers, that's for sure. On the one hand, interfering in our development would violate our autonomy and potentially disrupt our natural evolution.
Yeah.
On the other hand, allowing us to self-destruct.
Right.
If that's where we're headed, it just seems almost callous, doesn't it?
It does. It's like they're wrestling with the prime directive from Star Trek,
Oh, yeah.
The principle of non-interference. But what if the stakes are so high that staying silent becomes a form of complicity?
It's a moral quandary, for sure. It forces us to confront our own beliefs, about responsibility, about compassion, about the limits of both. What would we do if we were in their position? Would we risk intervening, knowing that we could make things worse? Or would we stick to our principles, even if it meant watching a civilization fall?
Tough questions. But their hands-off approach, even if it's frustrating,
Yeah.
it allows us to play out our own destiny, for better or worse.
Right.
It really underscores the importance of human agency, doesn't it? The power of our choices to shape the future.
It absolutely does.
Right.
And while we might not have, a galactic federation watching over us,
Yeah.
we do have each other.
Right.
We have the collective wisdom of humanity, the lessons learned from past mistakes, the potential to create a better world.
Right. And their observations, even if they're unsettling, they can serve as valuable data points.
Yeah.
They're highlighting potential pitfalls, pointing out areas where we need to be particularly careful.
Like the fragility of freedom in democratic societies.
Yeah.
The dangers of unchecked technological advancement. The need to balance progress with sustainability.
Exactly. These are challenges that we're already grappling with, but their perspective adds a sense of urgency.
Definitely.
It's a reminder that the stakes are high,
Yeah.
not just for us, but potentially for the future of consciousness itself.
It's a lot to process. Yeah, it is. And it makes their assessment of humanity being at a midpoint even more intriguing.
Right.
Are they optimistic about our chances? Or do they see a bleak future ahead?
Let's listen to one more clip where they delve into this question of human potential.
The destiny of mankind is not decided by material computation. When great causes are on the move in the world, we learn that we are spirits, not animals, and that something is going on in space and time, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty.
The destiny of mankind is not decided by material computation. Powerful stuff. It's like they're saying our story is about more than just technology or economic growth.
It's like they're pushing back against that purely materialistic view of the universe. They're pointing to something much deeper, something beyond numbers and data.
It makes you think about ideas, beliefs, values. Those are the forces that shape what we do, and ultimately that's what changes the course of history.
I agree. And then there's that phrase, something is going on in space and time, which, whether we like it or not, spelled duty.
I know, right?
It suggests a purpose. It's responsibility that goes beyond what we want, even beyond what society expects.
They're saying we're not just here to survive or consume, to make money.
Right.
We're here for something bigger, something woven into the fabric of the universe itself.
Maybe our duty is to evolve as a species, to grow our consciousness, to be more compassionate, more creative, more connected to everything around us, to really be the best that humanity can be.
And that duty, they're implying it goes beyond our planet. Whether we like it or not, spelled duty. It's like a cosmic imperative. We're bound to this bigger story that's unfolding across space and time.
That's a huge idea. And it opens up a ton of questions.
It does. Like, what is that something going on out there? What's our role in it? How do we actually live up to this duty when the world feels so chaotic?
I know. It's a lot to process. We should probably take some time to reflect on everything we've heard.
I think so too.
These beings, with their observations and their cryptic messages, well, they've really challenged our assumptions.
Yeah,
They've ignited our imagination and left us with more questions than answers.
they have. But one thing's for sure, they see something in us, a potential that we might not even fully realize ourselves,
They're pushing us to look deeper, to see the bigger picture,
to recognize how everything's
and
connected.
to remember that our choices, even the small ones, they shape not just our future.
But maybe the future of the universe itself. Wow.
Right,
I think we need a moment to let all of that sink in.
definitely.
We'll be back soon to explore some of the key takeaways from this audio and what they could mean for us, right here, right now. It's chilling how they talk about rapid change and the potential for losing freedom. It feels like a warning, but it's not clear what exact threats they're talking about.
That's what I find so intriguing. They give us this framework for thinking about these big issues, but they don't spell everything out.
Right.
It's like they want us to connect the dots ourselves.
Yeah. Apply their observations to our own lives, to our own time.
Exactly.
I think that's the real power of this audio. It's not about giving us all the answers. It's about making us more aware of the choices we're making as individuals, as a society.
It's about understanding that our actions have consequences. And that those ripple effects, well, they can be unpredictable.
So what do we do with this awareness? How do we deal with all this complexity, the progress, the freedom, the technology, the humanity of it all?
Well, I think the first step is just to be more mindful. Yeah, paying attention to how technology is affecting us, our lives, our thoughts, even our relationships. Questioning our assumptions about progress, convenience, even what freedom really means.
So basically, be critical thinkers.
Exactly.
Don't just accept everything we're told. Ask the hard questions. Challenge the status quo. Look for different points of view.
And remember what those beings found so captivating about humanity. Our empathy, our creativity, our resilience.
Right.
Those are the qualities that make us worthy of freedom. And ultimately, they're the qualities that will decide our fate.
It's like they're telling us to embrace our humanity even as we push the boundaries of what it means to be human.
It's a balancing act, that's for sure.
Yeah. But I think we can do it.
I agree. We're not just along for the ride on this planet. We're the ones steering the ship.
Right.
And we've got to guide it in the right direction. Make choices that honor our past.
Protect our present.
And create a future that lives up to our potential.
So, listener, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with some questions to think about. What does freedom mean to you? How are you using your freedom to make a positive difference? What choices can you make today, even small ones, to create a future where humanity can thrive?
Remember what we heard. The destiny of mankind is not decided by material computation.
Powerful words.
Our values, our beliefs, our actions, that's what shapes our future.
The story is still being written.
That's the exciting part.
It is. Thanks for joining us on this journey of exploration.
Yeah, thank you.
We hope it's inspired you to keep asking questions, keep learning, and keep believing in the power of the human spirit. We'll see you next time.